Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. And it looks like today is a great day to tell a couple of new excellent stories. So please sit comfortably, and let's get started. Contractor Valet, full service. Before we start, if you'd like your own tales to tell, go put on some high-visibility workwear. It's amazing. The what and who you can be mistaken for, and the look, it's a Corporal Google. Younger, stupider years ago, somewhere in Australia. The tale started about 8:15 one Tuesday morning. I know because that was the time on his dashboard clock. A couple minutes prior, I'd been hit in the face by a weighty bunch of keys. Car keys, house keys, postbox keys, assortment of small, sharp, hurdy keys. Our team was putting up electrical signage at a business across the road from a meeting venue. The venue's front entrance was a good vantage point to see how the signage looked, so I went over to near the front doors, in the shade. I'd seen cars going past and parking in the venue's car park for the 40 minutes leading up to 8 a.m. The posters outside indicated a session from 8 a.m. to noon. Tail time. Around 8:15, a silver Lexus pulls up, blocking the porte cochere, French for if there was a valet, this is where they'd be standing. 30-something Keyman gets out, shuts the door, starts jogging towards the venue's doors. On his way past me, he does the flick right out of the movies. Both the keys and my favorite tinted safety glasses are now on the ground. I look at them, then the doors, to see them closing. No sign of the failed stealth class ninja. Pick up the keys and heft them for a second, then go open the passenger door to get this guy's name off his registration papers. I'm thinking I'll give the keys to venue's reception with his name and let them deal with it. This is where I see that his address is 5 minutes up the road from the supplier I still had to go to this morning. Dear eagle-eyed safety/insurance/litigation/police people, rest assured I knew that afternoon and the weeks after that it was a stupid thing to do. My boss had me on trench digging duties after I told him, all because of the next 5 words. I drove his car home. To his home. I wasn't that stupid. I called an apprentice and gave the address to pick me up. After parking/locking his car door on the front lawn, because my glasses were scratched, I had time before the apprentice showed up to put all his failed implements of death through his doormail slot, one by one. Round noon, I stood myself at my fancy French valet, also French, station, and waited. Keyman said loudly in a hurry while poking me in the back, "Grab my car, will you, mate? I'm in a hurry." I'm just looking at all the people walking to the car park, and he pokes me again. Keyman, getting a bit crappy they are, him and his pokey finger. "I'm in a hurry, come on." Me, as I turn to him, "It's not here, mate. Did you think I was a valet?" I take off the hard hat I've worn the whole day and show it to him. It has stickers. Confusion face for a second as he checks out my sweet stickers, then looks up at me. Puzzled, but figuring it out. Where is it?" Me, just matter-of-factly, "I took it to your place and put the keys through the door. Keys in the face. This isn't nice, mate. Don't do that." I see him patting his pockets, and I walk away putting my hard hat back on, saying over my shoulder, "Your phone's in the car, mate." That's clever and evil, like a criminal mastermind meets evil genius way. But anyway, let's move on to our next story. As I've told you before, I don't work here. I work for a nonprofit organization. We own an office building and rent office spaces out to other nonprofits at a very cheap rate. Though we currently have one for-profit tenant, the taxman, the offices have been a little crowded as we've had increased staff size this past year. So how the building is set up, everyone entering has to come directly through my office to get anywhere else in the building. Rather annoying for me, but oh well. It's rather obvious upon entering my office which organization I work for. I have signs and tons of paraphernalia pertaining to my organization. Well, the taxman is rarely in his office, and this is his secondary location, so typically when his clients come in and see he's not there, they simply ask me to place a piece of paper on his desk for them or some similar small task. This one client of the taxman, Entitled Cow, comes in rather often. But being the entitled cow she is, she speaks down to me and gives me many tasks to do. For example, she once came in, discovered the taxman wasn't in his office, and started rambling off to me. "I need you to give this to the taxman. Tell him that I didn't know what to put in the XX section, and I have another question about XX, so I need you to have him call me immediately." I politely respond, "Ma'am, I don't work for the taxman. I work for the nonprofit organization which owns this building, but if you'd like to write down your notes for him, I'd be happy to place the message on his desk for you." "What an incompetent employee you are," she stated as she stormed off. This began happening rather frequently, at least once every other week. Each time I would remind her that I do not work for the tax man, and I would often note that I have no idea what she's talking about. Each time she would insult me and leave. The last time she came in, about 2 weeks ago, she walked right up to me and said, "What do you even do all day? Watch Netflix? Your job is boring." I, politely as possible, said, "No, ma'am. I run a youth volunteer program, run a countywide volunteer center, do all the accounting for the organization, serve as a property manager, and listed off my very extensive job description to her." She laughed and said, "Yeah, right. My daughter's about your age, and she just sits at a desk all day watching Netflix. You can tell your boss whatever you want, but I know you don't do anything." What an entitled cow, right? Well, today, about 30 minutes ago, guess who waltzes into my office? That's right, the oh-so-lovely entitled cow. I told her that the tax man is in, but he's currently meeting with someone else, and she could go knock to let him know she's there. She stared at me for a moment before finally leaving my office and walking back to the tax man. 5 minutes later, she walked back to my office and said, "That sounds like he's meeting with somebody." "Yes, ma'am, that's what I just told you." "Well, I'm not knocking and letting him know I'm here. You're his receptionist, that's your job." "No, ma'am, I am not his receptionist, and as I've told you many times before, I do not work for his company. You can either wait back there until his meeting's over, or you can knock and let him know you're here. Either way, it doesn't affect me." "Are you kidding? I'm here for a meeting with him, which was supposed to start 5 minutes ago." I ignored her and she walked out, only to pop her head in 2 seconds later and say, "Seriously, I'm not knocking." I said, "Okay," and she walked back to his office to wait. It's a small building and I can hear everything that happens in the hallways, so I can currently hear her sitting outside his office mumbling, "Seriously? Taxman, finish your meeting. You're supposed to meet with me. Frick your incompetent receptionist." Frick me, the incompetent receptionist of the taxman who just watches Netflix all day, right? And our third story. PA thinks she's my boss. A bit of background. I work in the film and television industry. On this particular shoot, I was the best boy electrician, the foreman of the electrical department working directly under the gaffer/chief lighting technician. The duties of a BBE include things like filling out time cards for my department, hiring the lighting technicians, electricians, keeping the truck organized, and on this show, driving the grip/electric truck. One fine morning, I pull up to set, park my truck, and shut off the engine. I open up the back and head into the set to greet the gaffer and BBG to see where the gaffer wants things staged for the day and what equipment we'll be pulling out first, and around whereabouts distro needs to be run. Once I get my instructions, I head back to the truck and find someone on it who I don't recognize. She's rummaging around the shelves, looking through the milk crates, completely ignoring me. Now, it's not impossible for me not to recognize someone on the truck. The best boy grip may have brought on a day player if he's shorthanded that day, so I go introduce myself. "Hey, how you doing today?" She says, "Oh, good, you must be the PA. Can you tell me where the spike tape is?" Spike tape is marking tape usually used for setting actors' marks. "Oh, probably with the camera department." "I'm sorry, who are you?" "I'm just looking for the..." "Oh, never mind." She found my personal rolls. I keep 2 colors for my own use, and I use one of them to tag my drinks, the other one for setting marks when I do Steadicam. These rolls are mine. They don't belong to the truck, nor to production. She jumps down off the deck of the truck and starts to head towards the set. "Wait, stop. That's not camera department's tape. You want me to walkie the second AC for you?" "What do you mean? It's spike tape, isn't it?" "I'm the key PA, which makes me your boss. Plus, I was the production manager on mid-tier local web series, so you should know who I am." Those rolls are actually mine," I tell her. "They have my name written on them." "Nope, they have the BBE's name on them. The AD told me to ask him, but he wasn't by the truck." "I'm the BBE." "No, you're not. You're just some local university freshman. I know the BBE. I have his phone number." "Yeah, why don't you go ahead and call him?" So she grabs a call sheet from her back pocket, then finds my number, dials it, puts the phone to her ear. After a second staring at me with hostility, my phone starts to ring. I take it out of my pocket and answer. "Give me my tape. Stay off the truck. PAs are not allowed to touch grip or electrical equipment." I hang up, she gives me the tape and slinks off. Cut around to lunch, and I see her lurking around Grip's staging area and round the corner just fast enough to see her walking off with a couple of apple boxes. I hang around staging for a while, eat my lunch, then start doing the rounds, making sure everything is ready to get back into shooting after lunch. I run across the 2 apple boxes next to a lunch box, a metal box with a bunch of outlets on it, run from our generator to power lower wattage lights. She had unplugged a light in order to charge her phone, which was left on top of the box. I unplug her phone and take it straight to the AD. I talked to the AD about it. PAs don't handle electric for any reason. We were pretty strict about that, and she was asked to go home after lunch. Turns out she'd also spent the entire day hovering over the director's shoulder and bossing around the other PAs, despite the fact that she wasn't actually the key PA. Turns out that she was a senior at the university she said I was a freshman from. Yeah, I've not seen her since. I have no idea why she thought I was a production assistant. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.